Hello everyone, welcome back. We're back here with yet another end-to-end hockey trade and signing update video. Today we're looking at 7 signings here around some of the Atlantic Division teams, including with Luostarinen signing an extension in Florida, Detroit bringing in Victor Arvidsson, and a couple of other smaller end deals. We'll touch on all these ones coming up in this video right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. If you're just joining us, leave a subscribe down below. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers in the very near future. Love to hear your thoughts on these signings down in the comment section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video. And we have more videos coming out, so hope you guys are able to tune in for those ones. But in today's video, we have a really quick one here talking about some more Atlantic Division signings. So we did one recently talking about Toronto and Tampa. We're looking at some other teams here who have made some signings on July 1st. We're going to start over here with the Montreal Canadiens. This isn't a signing for a UFA or even an RFA. This is an extension for next year, and that is the Montreal Canadiens extending Imagn Demidov. Demidov is 20 years old. He's a winger. This year was actually a Calder finalist. Did lose out to Matthew Schaefer, but he was actually looking pretty good. Has the makings of a really skilled top 6, even top line winger there for the Montreal Canadiens. He gets an 8-year extension with an AAV of $9.15 million. So once again, for what a lot of these other teams are signing players to contracts, this is not a half bad contract. Once again, Demidov now becomes the second highest paid player as of next year on the Montreal Canadiens, right behind Noah Dobson, but I think this is deserved. Once again, he put up 19 goals and 43 assists, 62 points in 82 games as a rookie. So how much better is he going to get? I think Demidov as peak could be like a 90 to 100 point player, putting up 35 to 40 goals, and I could see him be like a top line elite playmaking winger here for the Montreal Canadiens. So a really solid pickup here to get ahead of the jump here, and they are able to sign Demidov to a long-term extension before he's even eligible to be an RFA. It's really good stuff there for the Montreal Canadiens. Another extension we saw was in the Florida Panthers organization. Luostarinen, who is the Panthers' third-line center and has been a really solid player for the past couple of years, gets a 8-year contract extension with Florida with an AAV of $5 million. Another really solid piece of business here from the Florida Panthers. Only a $2 million pay bump from his last deal. Luostarinen is 27 years old, left wing / center. He was supposed to be a UFA next year, and now he's not. This past year, he had 11 goals and 33 points in 73 games. So once again, the Panthers were a pretty injured bunch, so the fact that he was able to get 33 points is not half bad. I think, once again, long term, he might be able to round out into like a really solid, maybe second line player, but I think he's most likely suited to be a third liner. So maybe $5 million for a third liner is a little bit expensive, but I don't think this is a bad contract here for the Panthers, and Luostarinen is going to be with the Panthers if he stays there for the entirety of his upcoming contract for the next 9 years. So very interesting note there. Panthers also made one other signing here they want to touch on in this video, and that was Gudas. Similar to some of the other signings that the Panthers have made for older players, Gudas has signed a 6-year contract. He's 36 years old with an AAV of $1.5 million per season. So once again, the term's quite surprising. He's 36 years old, so this deal takes him until he's 42. So he might be retired before this end of the deal. So interesting note there. But only $1.5 million for Gudas, so I think could have gone easily $3 to $4 million on the open market. It's not a half bad job there for the Florida Panthers. Gudas is a right shot defenseman. Last year had 2 goals and 13 points in 56 games with Anaheim. His signing rights were dealt to Florida a couple days ago, and once again, the Panthers and Gudas reunite after a 3-year break between Panthers having Gudas under contract. So very interesting note there, but Gudas has now returned to Florida, and he's signed for the next 6 years at a very cheap cap hit. So very interesting to note there. Then we go over to Detroit. They made 3 very interesting signings we want to talk about here in this video. They added some top 6 help by adding Victor Arvidsson. They brought back one of their unqualified RFAs and Mazur, and they found their backup goaltender for this upcoming season in Tarasov. So Arvidsson, he's 33 years old, he's a winger, he's in a 2-year contract with an AAV of $5 million. Once again, not a bad pickup here. He's injury prone, so it might be a little bit risky, but Arvidsson's coming off a really good season where he put up 25 goals, 54 points in 69 games, was relatively healthy. If he can produce similar numbers in Detroit, I think I consider this a win. And once again, it's not like it's a long-term, high-money deal. 2 years with $5 million. If it's not working out, they can try and trade him next year. So it's not a bad pickup there for the Red Wings, as Arvidsson is able to sign with the Detroit Red Wings. So we'll see how that fit goes. Mazur, who was not qualified by the Red Wings, sends a 2-year deal, $875,000 AAV to stay with the Red Wings going forward. It's not a bad pickup here for Detroit. Mazur is 24 years old. He's a left winger. He had 11 goals and 16 points in 16 AHL games, but he also did have a couple of games at the NHL level. I think he still projects to be a really solid bottom 6 forward, maybe a guy who can eventually be third, second liner. So I really do like the signing here for the Red Wings to keep Mazur in the fold, and I don't think that's a bad deal there for the Red Wings. They also signed Daniil Tarasov, who's 27-year-old goaltender, coming off of a season where he had played with the Florida Panthers this past year, backing up Sergei Bobrovsky. He had an .895 save percentage and 3.05 GAA in 33 games. Once again, that Panthers team was quite injured, hence quite bad, so that's not too surprising that he has a little bit of bad numbers. He signs a one-year deal with an AAV of $2 million. He'll back up John Gibson. I can see him get like 25 to 30 starts, maybe even 30 plus starts in the Red Wings organization, and I think Tarasov could be a really good solution at the backup, and if it doesn't work out, they can walk away from him as a UFA next year, so not a bad pickup there for Detroit. And one other signing I want to touch on here today is in the Buffalo Sabres organization. Imagn Zellweger, who was acquired just about a week ago from the Anaheim Ducks in a small draft day deal, has extended. Once again, Zellweger was an RFA. He needed a new contract. The Sabres have signed him to a 3-year contract extension with an AAV of $3.1 million. Not a bad pickup here, in my opinion, for Buffalo. He is 22 years old. He's a left-shot defenseman coming off a season where he had 7 goals, 22 points in 76 games. I really do like this deal for the Sabres. It's not overly expensive. Zellweger, I think, can eventually, by the end of this contract, be a top 4 defenseman, put up some good offensive numbers. I think as peak in this contract, he can probably be like a 10 goal scorer, put up like 30 to 40 points, and he'll be an RFA at the end of the deal. So I like this deal for the Sabres, and I think this is a really good pickup here for Buffalo. So all in all, some very interesting signings from our past couple of hours as Demidov extends in Montreal, Luostarinen extends in Florida. They also get a third for defenseman as they reunite with the Radko Gudas. The Wings get a top 6 forward in Arvidsson, retain an AHL player from over the past couple of years in Carter Mazur, and get their backup goaltender. And Buffalo signs Zellweger to a 3-year deal to help them on the defensive end. So very interesting note there. Those are all signs that we're going to talk about here today. Let your guys' thoughts on these down in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers in the very near future. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. Leave a link to the description below. I'll also leave a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page down below. It's just a site that I made that I was able to help you guys support the channel. So if you guys like what I do here and want to keep help supporting it, then make a donation on the website, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.